what are you doing here? Like, why are you here?
Why are you here? Like, what? What is the goal?
What is the point?
There's no answer.
There's no answer. And I think that's what we're meant to believe. Mercury had wings on its feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I guess I imagine like when he's ready to or when they are ready to.
But essentially, we woke up to realizing that we didn't have our normal mic set up, and we had to scramble.
Yeah,
we're making it work.
We were doing some scrambling, scrambling some eggs.
It was like eggs and green eggs and ham in here.
Oh my God. But you know what, Natalie, you really got it done, girl.
Thanks. I'm a Taurus.
Natalie got it done. And I just sat here patiently waiting while Natalie figured it out.
She was like, I'm going to stay here looking beautiful. No, but the thing about me is that I am stubborn to a fault, but sometimes that stubbornness helps.
Listen, I really appreciate it. When it comes to the tech here, I am absolutely unhelpful.
Listen, we all have our jobs.
I'm useless. I am useless. I just sat here and I was a good cheerleader.
No, you were. You were supportive the whole time. You let me vent. I mean, partnerships are all about, I think, finding your strengths and being supported by the other person's strengths.
Yeah.
You know? And hey, it's Gemini season, so look at us.
Oh my
we
gosh,
got
look
two
at
sides
us.
of life.
And okay, so I've been teaching about Gemini season this past week. And when I say teaching, I taught one class because I'm in another play. Because I can't stay away from that stage.
Always in a play.
Always in a play. So I taught one class. But I have been, I might have gotten this from somewhere, probably from Channy. So excuse me if I'm stealing/borrowing, because I'm sure Channy's probably not the first person to say this. But I have been describing Gemini energy as like that nosy next door neighbor that has that extra charm.
Yeah. You know, Cosmic Cousins also talks about it being the neighbor.
It is.
So I don't think that's
it's not an
exclusive
totally
thing.
Is, and it can't be. But when I was thinking about what you were talking about, partnerships, and then kind of segueing into the Gemini of it all, I was thinking about us kind of being that neighbor, that supportive neighbor.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
And
can I borrow your sugar?
Can I borrow some sugar? I'm going to bring you a piece of cake later. You know, like being social and being connected. And yeah. So, and it's also the summer, at least in the Northern Hemisphere.
Yeah.
So maybe we're seeing people more. We're out of the house a little more. There's events, there's travel. I feel like things shift at this time of year.
Totally.
It's a lot of air energy.
Yeah, it is a lot of air energy.
It is. Should we set the stage?
I think so. So we mentioned that the sun is in Gemini.
Yep.
And we kind of talked a little bit about that. It's that mutable air. So a lot of movement, that neighboring feel. I've been saying it is that sign that is all about gathering information, processing information, sharing information.
Right. It's ruled by Mercury.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's
the messenger.
The messenger. Yeah.
Sending the message.
Sending the message.
I always picture did anybody here, I'm really aging myself, but I'm sure you had AOL.
Yeah.
And when you used to send an email, it would make a sound.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Maybe it still does that.
Does
That's
it?
what I think about.
Yeah, I actually don't know.
That sound of I guess it's like an envelope in a chute.
Yeah, because it's the Mercury had wings on its feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I guess I imagine when he's ready to or when they are ready to take their message, it's like that. Yeah. As they take off. Yeah.
I picture little sneakers with wings on them.
Totally.
And they're sprinting Roadrunner
style.
Totally.
Well, I guess that's probably Nike too, because Nike is a Greek god too, right?
Yes. Nike's in my brain.
Yeah, maybe that's Nike too. But I bet you there's some sort of correlation, maybe?
Yeah, like often there is with Greek gods, Roman gods, and astrology.
Yeah.
I think that there's like different names for all of the things that overlap.
Yeah.
Because everything ultimately, this leads us into what we're talking about. Well, like everything is story.
Everything is everything.
You know, everything is everything. But like everything is a story.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
everything comes from story. We are storytellers. So if we're thinking about, again, sending the message, we are always like, what are we trying to communicate and how are we trying to do it?
Yeah. And I also think of Gemini as like always looking to get to the bottom of something, you know? So and we've talked about this a little bit before when we have made the comparison between like Gemini and Virgo, who are both ruled by Mercury. I think of Virgo as like putting the puzzle together, and Gemini is trying to like pick it apart to try to figure things out a little bit, like a little bit more of like, what are these pieces? I'm trying to get to the bottom of it. I'm trying to kind of figure things out a little bit more. It's like very inquisitive. It's very curious.
Yes, and I love people that are curious.
Yeah.
Like it makes me think about dating, and like for a little bit, you know, during 2020 and everything like that, I was dating. This is BJ. Before John. I didn't mean to say BJ. Let me cut that out.
Don't, please.
This is before John.
So good.
Oh my God. But like, sometimes I go out with people and they're just like not curious. Like, I'm mentioning something and you're not even following up.
There needs to be a follow-up question.
Aren't you curious about anything? Yeah, for me, I'm like, aren't you curious? Don't you have a follow-up question? Don't you wonder about the other thing or the thing I just said?
Oh, a Gemini always has a follow-up question.
Always, and that's what's so charming about it. It makes you feel so seen. When people truly are curious about you, it makes you feel very seen and heard. And listen, who doesn't love talking about themselves?
I love talking about myself.
I do too. I got things to say.
I do, but then also sometimes I get a little bit like self-conscious when it goes on too long, because then I'm like, am I talking about myself too much? But I digress.
I know. I'll be like, but what about you? But how about you?
Yeah.
But that's nice.
Yeah.
Like it's nice to talk to somebody and have them ask about you, and then you give it back.
Yeah.
It's an exchange.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so we know that the sun is in Gemini. Let's just go straight to the opposite, because usually we take our time to get to kind of the main event, which is the moon, because that's what this whole, the podcast kind of circulates around. But I want to switch it up today.
Let's switch it up.
We're going to switch it up today.
In a Gemini fashion.
And I'd like to talk about the moon only because it is in the opposing sign of the sun, which is Sagittarius. If Gemini is really all about kind of like getting into the nitty-gritty and kind of pulling things apart and wanting to know more, I believe that Sag, which is the opposite sign, which is a mutable fire sign, lives in that same like realm, but it's like interested in like the big ideas. It's like, I want to know more, but whereas Gemini is like, I want to know about all the little things. I want to know about the little things about you and about this and about that. Sag is like, I want to know about all the like big concepts. I want to know about philosophy. I want to know about, religion. I want to know about all these big ideologies, and like it's still invested in knowing more and learning in knowledge, but it's like, give me like these big grand ideas.
Absolutely. Because it's ruled by Jupiter.
So it's expansive. Yeah. Yeah.
Big.
Yeah. So they're both seekers.
Yeah.
In a way.
Just like a different flavor.
Yeah. Whereas like I think of like the Gemini is what are those dogs that like
those hound dogs?
The hound dogs. The Gemini is like kind of like has its nose to the ground, and then like the Sag is like has its like faces up.
It's almost like a big hawk, like soaring through the air, like looking, but like they're still looking around, but they're flying.
They're flying. Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's totally it.
Yeah, that's a lovely metaphor.
They're both looking. They just, their direction is different. Yeah. So we have the full moon in Sag that is happening today. We have Venus in Taurus. We have Mars in Taurus, which will influence our teachings today. So Venus is the planet of beauty, creativity, pleasure, kind of luxury. And it is actually the natural ruler of Taurus. So it kind of loves to be there. It's its natural home, if you will. And so it's kind of chilling. It's like, okay, like this is a great place for it to be.
It's cozy.
It's cozy. Oh yeah. Comfortable in my skin. Oh.
I know, cozy.
Yeah, cozy. Yeah. Okay, but Mars is in Taurus, and now Mars in Taurus is in its detriment.
Yeah, that's a horrible place.
It's like okay, because Mars wants to go fast.
Mars wants to go fast and hard, and Taurus never does. Like, it is not it. So, like, Mars and Taurus, it's like, it makes things slow down.
It makes it slow down.
Which maybe is a good thing.
Which might be a good thing. Wait, is the phone ringing?
Oh, yeah. Can you grab it?
Oh, okay. I would love to grab the phone. This is great timing for the phone to ring. Hello? Oh, okay. Hold. Nat, the universe called.
What did they say?
Me and you, your mama and your cousin too. Okay, thank you so much, universe.
Wow. Why did they say that?
Well, there's so many reasons, but we're talking about neighbors. We're talking about community. I mean, it is Gemini season. That is an Outcast song, and we do know that there is some Gemini in that group. But
Andre 3000 is a Gemini.
yes, Andre 3000 is Gemini. Big Boy's the Aquarius. I mean,
lots of we've talked about this, but lots of rappers are Geminis, which totally I love because they're poets sending out the message.
Yes, absolutely. But the message is what we were just talking about as we were setting the stage, and this is a great way for us to kind of move into our teaching. We ended on this Mars in Taurus, which is kind of forcing us to slow down a little bit. We know Venus in Taurus is encouraging us to really luxuriate in the beauty. And Mars in Taurus is asking us to take our time to really enjoy that, to be able to like really pay attention to what's around us. And we have Gemini and Sag that are saying like, okay, maybe we're not just like, not to slow down, maybe we're not just like paying attention, but we're actually like seeking more and more of that creativity. We're seeking more and more of that beauty. We're seeking more and more of that connection.
I love it. Yeah.
Between maybe me and you, your mama and your cousin too. Yeah. Which takes us to our teaching of yoga.
Everything is yoga.
Everything is yoga.
It's not just when you're on your mat doing yoga poses. It's not even when you're just meditating.
It is, if we go back to the root word of yoga, yuj, Y-U-J, which translates to yoke or to unite. It is when we are in intentional connection with something else. When we are intentionally choosing to create a connection with something outside of ourselves.
Right. Like whether it's the breath, whether it's nature, a piece of art, food, a friend, a teacher.
That is yoga.
That is yoga.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm curious if you feel like this because for me, you know, I do many different things. Mm-hmm. I got a Gemini Mars. So I do a lot of different things. I have been a yoga teacher for over a decade. I'm also an actor. We have a podcast. you know, I'm a personal trainer. It's like, at the end of the day though, it's always yoga. Whether I'm acting or I'm training somebody or I'm literally teaching asana, it's all yoga. Because at the end of the day, it's all about presence and intention and connection. And so I don't really see it as separate. How do you feel? Like, do you feel similar?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you do many things.
Absolutely. It's so interesting. So we have, I am a teacher in the teacher training. And so we have our trainees come in and they observe. I'm sure you've had some of them come in and sit and observe our teachers while they're teaching. And I always introduce them to the class because, you know, there's somebody sitting there. So it's like, I'm like, hey, there's somebody here sitting here watching you practice. Like, but what I have been doing for a while now is I always say to the class, like, everybody here in this room, including me and the trainee, is practicing yoga. Just not all of us are doing asana. But everybody's practicing yoga, including me, including our trainee. Know that. So to me, it's like, yeah, it might not look like a down dog. It might not look like sitting in meditation, but me being present, them having this intention of mindfulness, of engagement, of connection, that is practicing yoga.
Totally. And so it's all about slowing down and paying attention, right? So this full moon, I would be like, this is the time to slow down, pay attention, because we're combining this Venus in Taurus, Mars in Taurus with this air sun, fire moon that's mutable. And basically it's like when we actually do kind of dive into the present moment and we're getting into that detail, we're the hound dog, right? It does actually allow us to expand. Because once we start to dive in, we see just how big the world is. And I think sometimes the world can get really small when we're not present and we're not practicing yoga because we're limiting ourselves. But when we allow ourselves to take in just how big and beautiful and connected everything is, wow, does that shit get like really expansive, really fast, and there's a sense of wonderment, and almost newness in everything that you do.
Absolutely. And I think it even because we've kind of been speaking to this entire Dharma talk, if you will, because that's essentially what these are, or Dharma discussions, if you will. But you would put in our notes that in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna speaks to Arjuna and reminds Arjuna that, like, you can find yoga or through any of the yogic paths. It doesn't have to just be one. And I think that it's that of like, we oftentimes, those of us who practice yoga, we do narrow, we do get so limiting in the way that we think of like our journey of yoga has to look. Yes. It's like, oh, it has to be this particular way, or it has to look like this. And it's like, no, just being inquisitive is actually a yogic path. Doing volunteering is a yogic path.
Karma yoga.
You know what I mean? Like, being devotional, saying
Bhakti.
your prayers is a yogic path.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, learning how to broaden our horizons a bit, just like you're saying, like, kind of like figuring out what works for us helps to broaden.
Yes, because then we actually might discover a new way for us to practice. I think it's interesting because I do talk to a lot of people in yoga teacher training, and it's so cool to hear how many people have different ideas of what they want to do. It's like, oh, I'm a therapist and I want to be able to offer some grounding tools for my clients, or I want to take this into prisons and teach yoga, or, I want to work with people with disabilities and different abilities. It's just amazing. And so it does lead me to a quote. I have a quote.
Nat has a quote.
This is from, we may all know and love, Rumi, which is the 13th century Persian poet. And this is one of my favorite quotes. "Let the beauty we love be what we do. There are hundreds of ways to kneel and kiss the ground." So there's so many ways for us to have a practice. There's so many ways to show devotion. And how do we discover them? We seek them out. We try things. We expand.
Yeah. This is so crazy because this wasn't a natural segue. I've used that word 8 times in this episode. It's fine.
How could you?
It's fine. But it wasn't a natural segue at all. But talking about kneeling, kissing the ground. But we had spoken about the fact that Sag rules the legs and the hips.
Oh, yeah.
And how we could maybe honor that around this Sag full moon. And I was saying, this might be a really lovely time to implement a practice of walking.
Yeah, you said a walking meditation.
A walking meditation, getting out in nature and recognizing how small we are in the massiveness, because again, Jupiter rules Sag too. And so there is this expansive quality to the Sag, and just thinking about how we fit into, again, the massiveness of the world, of the universe, and taking that in.
Absolutely. The natural abundance of the universe.
That's
and
right.
the world. That's actually pulled from The Artist's Way. There's a whole chapter on natural abundance. And Artist's Way, she talks a lot about taking walks. That's the book by Julia Cameron for creatives. And so she says to go out and take a walk and take in the natural abundance that's available to you. Because we forget that it's ours. And this is a very different way of thinking than Western culture, which is individual. It's very more, I would say, pulled from indigenous culture or other cultures to be the world belongs to everybody.
Yeah.
And so does its resources.
Yeah, absolutely.
And especially right now with everything going on in the government where a lot of those things are threatened.
Yeah.
The national parks, the safety of the water, all of those things. We got to appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, as we come to a close, and I just think the one thing that really speaks to me at this time is, and it is almost an extension of our previous episode, of just remembering that yoga is ideally something that exists in our day-to-day. Asana is just it's mentioned 3 times in the sutras, but it's just one limb.
Only one limb.
And really, it's just referring to the seat, which is preparing for meditation. I mean, if we really want to get technical, but this practice of yoga, which is connecting, which is yoking, which is uniting, which is really intentionally reaching out and touching something else, whether it be your neighbor, whether it be nature, some sort of ritual, that is ideally integrated into your daily life.
Right, and not waiting for the perfect moment. Because, you were mentioning our last episode where we interviewed the Tracy Stanley, which was amazing.
It was.
Wow, so magical. Go back and just listen to it. It's Taurus season, but I feel like you could listen to that anytime.
Anytime.
And just how much, what we do in a day becomes our life. And if you're waiting for the perfect moment to be I'm going to really hook into my meditation practice, it's there is never going to be a perfect moment. So just figure out what it is that you can do and let the yoga be part of your life. And truly, the yoga doesn't stop when we step out of a yoga studio. The yoga, ideally, is that we are living these teachings of ahimsa, being the first of the yamas and niyamas, for example, in our day-to-day life, because these things are life-changing. And if we kind of use these teachings as guidelines in our day-to-day life, then we are creating more connection. Like if I lead with compassion, I'm creating more connection with people I'm close to and with the neighbor that I haven't met yet. And treating everybody like they're God.
Absolutely.
Like treating everybody as sacred.
Absolutely.
So I guess that's it.
That's it.
That's a wrap. Thank you so much for listening. Make sure that you subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. We're also on YouTube, so you can watch us if you'd like. And we hope to see you on the next moon, which is the new moon in Gemini. Ciao. The
Bye-bye.
Universe Called Podcast with Natalie Burtney and Courtney Sauls. Theme music by Chick Cray, Studio Inertia. Special thanks to Donna and Robbie Falks.